Hello, it's Chris Hynes from Wealthi. I hope you're all doing well. Today, I just wanted to run through the opportunity that I believe Newcastle presents at the moment. We've seen a lot of talk in the media, as I'm sure you're all well aware, about Newcastle following the football takeover. Going back to the beginning of October now, and we've already seen some investment in the Newcastle region itself. I think it's just the beginning. I think we'll continue to see a lot more investment from international groups, international investment groups looking to invest in Newcastle, but it ticks a lot of the boxes when we're looking at an investment property or an investment area. And I'll run through those points in today's video. We'll discuss the population, the employment, projects that are already underway in the area itself, how the property market has performed as well, and just talk about Newcastle in general. So I hope you get some value out of this video. If you've got any questions come the end of it, please feel free to flick me a message, give me a call, flick me a message on LinkedIn, whatever is easiest for you, and we can have a bit more of a chat about the Newcastle property market. But to get started with, I thought we'd go over a quick snapshot of Newcastle itself. So there's a number of investment opportunities and developments in Newcastle at the moment. One worth mentioning was the flagship project, which is called Newcastle Helix, and that's the UK's largest 24-acre urban development, bringing academies, industry leaders, businesses, and top researchers together. That's a £350 million project. That's just to name one. In total, the pipeline currently consists of about £1.5 billion, and we're going to continue to see investment in Newcastle. I'm completely positive of that. Now, in terms of the economy, £13 billion contributed towards the UK's GVA each year, while securing over 600 million to the local economy. You've got outstanding employees and an outstanding talent. 1.1 million people live within a 30-minute drive, and the highest percentage of STEM and computer science students in England. In terms of university, there's over 100,000 students that live in Newcastle and the surrounding regions, boasting one of the highest graduate retention rates at 55%. Connectivity, you've got Newcastle International Airport. It's 20 minutes from the city centre. It's going to connect you to over 85 destinations around the world, and it carries over 5 million passengers, or it caters, over 5 million passengers a year. And infrastructure, £12.5 million investment into digital infrastructure. It has one of the fastest broadband speeds in the UK, as well as free city centre Wi-Fi. And I did some reading on the digital infrastructure and those broadband speeds, and little to my knowledge, Newcastle's actually the home to where the lines sit from the US to Newcastle, or to the UK, and then from the UK to Europe. So it plays a massive part in the connectivity from a broadband perspective. And I thought that was quite fascinating to pick up on. And I guess given the fact that they have a very strong, you'd say, that computer science scene and the digital world, I think it's very important and it has a massive part to play, that digital infrastructure component to the city as well. So looking at the connectivity and transport, so you've got the LNER railway, which connects you to London in just over 2.5 hours. And it also connects you to your places like York, Leeds, Manchester, Birmingham, Liverpool, your major UK cities, your large UK cities. It's got the transport infrastructure that you'd expect in a major European city as well. You're well connected by road, rail, sea, and air. As I mentioned, you've got Newcastle International Airport, 20 minutes from the city centre. That's connecting you to over 85 destinations around the world. And then you've got the port as well, which is served frequently more so from an international shipping perspective in an international shipping port, but there's also a daily passenger and freight sea service to Amsterdam from the international ferry terminal. So that's a massive bonus from both a tourism perspective and then also from a corporate and work perspective, in the sense that you can get over to Amsterdam on the ferry very easily, and that's very accessible as well. So just another added bonus. Now, in terms of population and demographics, the city has a population of 300,000 people as it stands, with access to over 1.7 million people within a 30-minute drive. The number of households in Newcastle is projected to rise 12% from 122,424,000 people in 2015 to 137,471 households by 2030. Newcastle has one of the highest graduate retention rates, as I mentioned, at 55%. Its population has more than doubled since 2002 as well, and it is ranking in the top 10 UK cities for growth in the 21st century. Within the region, there's over 100,000 students that choose to live and study, with 20% arriving from over 110 countries worldwide. Newcastle City is home to two outstanding universities, which attract over 50,000 students as well. And thanks to the strong university scene, you could say, and the strong university presence in Newcastle, there's some very highly educated students or graduates that come out of these universities. It's a very multilingual workforce as well, which is providing international businesses with essential skills and knowledge to operate globally. So that's another added bonus. Now, that is just a beautiful photo of the waterfront at Newcastle. Now, in terms of the economy, and these first 2 points are less money focused, you could say, but just to give you an idea of what is happening in Newcastle as well. So as it stands, there's over 6,500 hectares of developable land in Newcastle. There's £1.5 billion of planned investment in the city as it stands as well. I think we're just going to continue to see that number go up over the next few years. Newcastle's economic potential is being realised from an international scale or from an international perspective now. £92 million accelerated development zone is underway. £100 million Giants Quay development is also underway, and a £350 million Science Central research facility. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting, and I'm sure many of you may have seen the announcement on the news come the end of October. However, SABIC initially committed £250 million to their Teesside plant, their chemical and energy plant down in Teesside. And that has since increased. About a week after they made that announcement, it increased to close to £1 billion. And Teesside, you could say, is quite a deprived area at the moment. With this investment, it's going to keep 1,200 people keep them employed. It's going to add a lot of opportunity and value to the immediate area as well, but it's also going to add value to the greater region, and Newcastle being within that region. Now, SABIC are a Saudi Arabian based group. They weren't invested or a part of the investment into Newcastle Football Club, just to make that clear at the start. The chairman of Newcastle Football Club is also the chairman of Saudi Aramco, which are a business which are very similar to SABIC by nature. But I believe that the investment that SABIC have made would not have been made in the area if it wasn't for the Newcastle Football Club takeover. And I think it will have a part to play on the Newcastle region, on Newcastle City itself. And I think that that is one of the first steps, you could say, in international investment from a Saudi Arabian-based group in a UK opportunity. So I think that's a fantastic opportunity there. And now I've mentioned the Newcastle Football Club takeover, and this is what really excites me. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. Given that the Reuben brothers are invested or involved, you could say, in this takeover of Newcastle Football Club. And as it stands, the Reuben brothers own a large portion of Newcastle at the moment. So I think that give it a couple years. I don't think it's going to happen this year or potentially next year, but give it a couple years, and I think we'll start to see a lot of investment from the consortium that has purchased Newcastle Football Club to really cement Newcastle's position on the map. We saw it with Manchester City a number of years ago, a while back now. Time has flown, but we saw it with Manchester City, and they started the Abu Dhabi consortium that purchased Manchester City at the time, started investing in Manchester City. The city itself, I mean. And I think we'll see a very similar thing happen with Newcastle Football Club. We have to remember that Newcastle Football Club are now the richest club in the world. The club was purchased for about £305 million, and there's going to be some benefits off the back of that. They've already committed £250 million to the training centre and the development of that training centre, and really trying to bolster the club's position. But I think that we'll give it a couple of years, and once Newcastle is, you could say, in top flight, or retains its position in top flight football, I think we'll see some investment into the city from that group. Now, going back to Newcastle and the general economy, as I mentioned on the first slide, it contributes £13 billion towards the UK's GVA each year. It's got a strong reputation in banking, corporate finance, insurance, contact centre, and shared services. The sector itself is growing rapidly, employing over 130,000 people in 17,500 companies, and thought to generate around 25% of the region's wealth. The city boasts a tech sector, which is forecast to grow to be worth £2.5 billion by 2025. Now, the business and employment. So Newcastle has a very vibrant and fast growing digital cluster. It's the largest and fastest growing digital cluster outside of London. In 2017, it grew by 30.7%. The Northeast has the highest percentage of STEM students in England, with more than 50,000 students at Newcastle universities. There are more than 50,000 registered businesses in the city region, and you can find some of the world's most iconic brands here, including the likes of Siemens, Sage, Nestle, Procter and Gamble, Norton Rose, Fulbright, Virgin Money, HMRC, Barclays and Ubisoft. By 2030, the city has achievable ambitions to create 210,000 new jobs, increase their population to 310,000 people, provide 30,000 new homes, and grow the student population to 60,000 people. And they, in the shorter term, you could say the smaller picture, they are projecting 100,000 new jobs in the regional economy by 2024. So in a number of years' time, we're looking at about 100,000 new jobs to be created. Now, looking at the property market and providing a quick little overview of what we've seen in the Newcastle property market over the past 12 months and beyond. So property prices on average are 31% less than other UK cities and 64% less than London. So from an affordability standpoint, for an investor that may be based in another city in the UK, there's a massive opportunity there to get into a city that still has its vibrant you say corporate background, student scene. It's growing. We're seeing a lot of investment in terms of regeneration projects into the city, and being able to get in at 31% less than other UK cities and 64% less than London is a massive opportunity. There is significant amount of private rented accommodation that's currently sitting at 19.1%. Compare that with the UK average, which currently sits at 16.8%. Now, sold prices in Newcastle over the last year are up 8% on the previous year and 15% up on the 2018 peak, which was at, and 15% up on the 2018 peak of £202,852. Currently looking at property prices, well, from an average perspective, you're looking at about £233,147. Now, the ratio of average property values to earning in Newcastle is substantially less than the rest of the UK. That currently sits at 5.7 in Newcastle. In terms of the rest of the UK, that property value to earnings ratio is currently sitting at 8.35%. So a massive opportunity there for people that are struggling to get into, you'd say, the more well-known investment areas in the UK at the moment, or even London for that matter. But you can get into the Newcastle property market and it won't be breaking the bank as much as it would be in a place like London, for example. Now, in terms of average rental yields, Newcastle's average rental yields are currently sitting around 8% gross. Rents today in Newcastle are 4.6% higher than a year ago and 8.1% higher than 5 years ago. Now, looking at your returns on investment on buy-to-let property in Newcastle, returns have risen by 17.8% in the last 5 years. And that's been off the back of really low interest rates that we've seen over the past few years. And we've seen some very strong rental growth, as mentioned, in Newcastle as well. And then also from a growth perspective. And we've seen some very strong growth over the past 5 years in Newcastle. And I think we'll continue to see some very strong growth for Newcastle over the next 5, 10, and 15 years. It's ticking a lot of the boxes in terms of fundamentals that we look for in an investment. We're seeing a lot of regeneration projects happening in Newcastle. We're only going to see more, in my opinion. I think we're going to see some more foreign investment in Newcastle. They're going to want to solidify their position on a global scale. They want Newcastle Football Club to be the biggest football club in the world, not just the richest football club in the world, but they want to get Newcastle to Champions League football. They want to solidify their position there. And once that has been completed, and once they manage to get to that, you could say that scale, they're going to want to regenerate the city substantially more as well. So I think we'll continue to see Newcastle grow from that perspective. I think we'll continue to see rents increase in Newcastle. We've seen it in the UK over the past, or let's take the last 12 months, for example, and we've seen some very, very strong rental growth in the UK as a whole. We still are, in particular in the northeast of England, the north of England, we've got a massive undersupply. And I think that given the undersupply, we're going to continue to see that fight for quality, you could say. People want to be in new buildings in this day and age. You could say the mentality has changed as well. So purchasing these new buy-to-let opportunities or these new developments, I think you're at a massive advantage. Now, I hope that has been a nice little breakdown of Newcastle for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to flick me a message, give me a call, or flick me a message on LinkedIn. Click the link down below, the book now link down below, and you can book a time into my diary, and we can have a bit more of a chat about the Newcastle property market. But hopefully you've got some value out of this video, and I look forward to hearing from you all very soon. Have a fantastic week, and we'll speak soon. Thank you.